Bladefall Bladeblast has been really strong. Despite the nerfs that were introduced in 3.14, this build exceeded all my expectations. Gotta be a little bit careful. But yeah, I actually expected this to take like a minute or two. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about my Bladeblast Bladefall Occultist League starter. I played this character all the way to level 92, and at that point the character died to an Ice Nova Strongbox in a tier 13 map, which is unfortunate. Probably either a very high roll, it could have been a crit, but it's not a weakness of the character. The character did not die to content that it shouldn't have died to. It died to player mistake because you're not supposed to tank strong boxes. In general, especially not the Detonate Dead, but also the Ice Novas can hit quite a bit in higher maps, especially since they do scale with map mods. But before I bloviate at length about this build, I'm just quickly going to show you how it works, because you may or may not have seen Bladeblast Bladefall around. So we just run a random tier 16 here in permanent standard. Important to note that this is the exact state that the character died in. The only difference is that I actually managed to refund some points and go all the way to Wind Dancer, which was a plan before the character died, but a plan that I hadn't put into action. Could have been what would have made the Strongbox not kill me. Anyway, so Bladefall Bladeblast is a combo skill. You throw out the blades, and then you can detonate the blades on the ground, and they will kill things.
In pursuit of my lauded fortress, no doubt.
As you can see, most of the time I don't need to Blade Blast. Just the Bladefall itself is enough to poison the monsters and to have them explode, which is when they deal a percentage of the monster's maximum life as chaos damage in an AoE, and that's actually enough to kill most of the packs, I would say. Now we still got that guy, because we got the prophecy active here.
To the realm of dreams, the feral lord flees and leaves in his wake.
And there's also a Zana. But you can already see that the clear is quite decent, considering that this is not a fully geared character. Oh, there we go, there's the boss. So I'm gonna quickly throw out all the damage that I have. You can see it's a little bit of a ramp up time for the damage, but I can kill those things fairly efficiently, even without explosions. Now you could also kite them into a magic pack, or, you know, have juiced maps that are so juiced that you have inevitably some packs next to the boss, and when monsters explode they obviously deal a lot of damage also to bosses. So yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, that's why we're not going to run the full map, but proof of concept, the build works pretty well, even in a tier 16 map, which I don't think it was ready to do. And most importantly, something I did not disclose when I ran this, we're running our main damage skill Bladeblast in a 4-link. Now why am I running it in a 4-link? The reason that Occultist is so great for clear is Profane Bloom. Profane Bloom makes it so that cursed enemies you or your minions kill have a 40% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their maximum life as chaos damage. This is really good, but it has the condition that you need to have the enemies cursed. Now, I run dual curse Blasphemy, Temporal Chains, and Feeble, which are two very defensively strong curses in Path of Exile. But those only have a radius of around this much. I won't be able to curse off screen with them. These are centered around my character. Now, ideally, in order to enable the explosions, I would want a Despair on hit ring, which you can get either from Chaos item nodes in Delve, or you can roll it on a Hunter base with a high enough item level, I believe. Or you can actually get a unique ring called the Mark of Submission, which is going to curse enemies with any curse that you socket into its socket. It's an unset ring, and the only property it has is curse on hit with the socketed curse. But it's better than a rare ring because it allows you to put a level 21 20% quality despair into it, where normal ring mods only have a lower level despair, or the equivalent of a lower level despair, because they're all now relative to level 1 despair, and then it just says with X increased effect. Also, you can corrupt a pair of gloves to have despair on hit. Important to note. But because I didn't have any of these, I was playing in a small private league, I actually had to link my Bladefall with Hex Touch and Despair on top of the core setup Unleash and Spell Cascade. You run Unleash and Spell Cascade so that not only do you cast Bladefall once, but because of Cascade, you cast it once ahead and once behind. And then also Unleash makes it so that whenever you don't use it for a while, it gains seals. Doesn't take too long, takes like a second. And those seals are then expended for additional casts. So every time I cast this, it leaves the maximum number of blades in the ground. I think it says maximum 40 lingering blades can be left in the ground at the time. And there's 5 volleys. Okay, let's quickly do the math. There's 5 volleys. They get repeated twice. Once ahead of it and once behind it. And that's like 15 and then multiplied by 4. So we leave 60. So we always leave 40. So even if we just have 2 seals up, we'll still hit the maximum of 40 blades. And yeah, that's just really what I wanted to talk about. I don't want to make this video too long, but as you can see, outside of Heretic's Veil and Cold Iron Point, my gear is very, very easy to get. This is just all generic filler rares with really good life rolls. I did get the Stygian Vise eventually in the tier 13 map. That's maybe something that's cool to mention, is in Turn's End, you can get Lightless Legion, which gives +3 monster level to Abyssal Depths, and also makes it more likely that you encounter Abyssal Depths and that you encounter abysses in your map in general. And so I actually found the Stygian Vise in the side zone of a level 80 map. A tier 13 is area level 80, but then a side zone is +1 in general, so it's 81, but then it's +3 from the Atlas passive, so it's 84, and unique monsters drop +2 loot, so this Stygian Vise is actually an item level 86 Stygian Vise out of the tier 13 map side zone. Anyway, just quickly wanted to make this video. Commandment of Spite, by the way, really, really good enchant. This leaves frozen ground in its trail when it's triggered in a kind of star form around your character. Would recommend, like 9 out of 10 of my characters want Commandment of Spite or any of Spite glove enchant. And yeah, just a quick disclaimer, this is not a build guide, obviously not. I didn't even go over the gem setups, but if you want to follow this character, I'm going to leave my path of building link pastebin thing down below in the description, and I'll also link to SOMAYD's version of the build, which is also on Occultist. Occultist is not necessarily the best class to do this on, because you don't get a whole lot of cast speed and agility from the class, but the defenses and the offenses are top-notch, and you don't really need to get much more than a 4-link, as you see, to clear red maps, which is kind of amazing, right? Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you to all the supporters, everyone who keeps coming to the live stream, renewing their subscriptions. A special thank you to my patrons. You know who you are. I'll see you in the next video.